Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. On today's video tutorial, guys, we are going to be tackling your bank tariffs, right? And before we even get started, what are bank tariffs, right? At this point, guys, you understand when we're dealing with your water tariffs, electricity tariffs, transport tariffs, bank tariffs, right? We are looking at a fee that you pay for making use of water, electricity, transport, and in this case a bank, right? So it's a particular fee that you pay for making use of a service at the bank, like withdrawing at a bank, making a deposit at a bank, and so on and so forth. So that is basically what we are looking at in today's activity. Okay, before we get started with today's video tutorial, guys, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Please make sure that you've clicked on that notification bell so that you get notified every single time I upload a new video tutorial, guys. And also, don't forget to give this video tutorial a huge thumbs up, because that really helps the channel grow and it helps the channel to reach more learners that want to better their mathematics marks. And also, guys, there is that thank you button there at the bottom. Okay, so if you feel like you really appreciate this content and you want to keep me motivated to keep uploading back to back, right, just click on that thank you button there and just thank me like that. Okay, I also appreciate that. I noticed that someone also did that. Whoever you are, thank you. Okay, thank you. I got myself a nice cappuccino. All right, so please, I would really appreciate that. If you really appreciate the content and you want to keep me motivated, click on that thank you button. Okay, so so guys, without any further ado, let's get started with today's video tutorial. So like I mentioned in today's video tutorial, guys, we are going to be looking at bank tariffs, how they're calculated, to just give you that confidence that you need when you see a question in your tests or in your exams that deal with your bank tariffs. Okay, so let's just not waste time, guys. Let's dive deep into it. But before we get started, you know how it is. I'm going to just let you guys take a screenshot for those students that want to first try it out on their own and see if they can do it. Okay, so just quickly take a screenshot of this page here and the questions. All right, so those are the questions that we are going to be doing. Okay, so if you've already done your bank tariffs at school and you feel like you are confident and you can just try this on your own, please go ahead. Right, and then once you're done, just play the video tutorial and follow with me to see if you were able to tackle the question. All right, so let's get started. The following table shows the bank fees or charges for certain transactions of Bank A and Bank B. Use the table to answer the questions that follow. So we are told that this table here shows the bank fees or charges for transactions that are done or for certain transactions of Bank A and Bank B, and we need to use this table to answer the questions that follow. All right, so we are told, okay, the different transactions are the withdrawal at bank's own ATM. So if you withdraw at, let's say, for example, Bank A, this is how much you will get charged. If you withdraw at Bank B, you'll get charged 8 Rand per 1,000 Rand or part thereof, right? If you withdraw at Bank A, you'll be charged 7 Rand per 1,000 Rand or part thereof. Okay, so there's that thing that I said that I was going to talk about in this video tutorial. Remember, I mentioned that I wasn't going to really dive deep into what that part thereof means, right? But in this video tutorial, I'm going to basically explain what that means because it's very important. And this comes into effect in this video tutorial where we are required to basically apply that statement that we are given, that you get charged 7 Rand per 1,000 or part thereof. So what does that mean? It means that, now, let's say you get charged for, let's say, for example, I'm going to just use this as an example. Let's say you withdraw 1,000 Rand at Bank A, right? So already we are told that you get charged 7 Rand for every 1,000 Rand that you withdraw or part thereof. So what does that or part thereof mean? It means if you decide that you want to withdraw 1.5, okay, 1,500 Rand, you are not going to be charged just the 7 Rand, but you're going to be charged another 7 Rand for the other parts of the 1,000 Rand that you've withdrawn. Let me just show this here. So let's say you've basically decided that you want to basically withdraw 1,500. Okay, right? So we know that for Bank A, you get charged 7 Rand. Okay, so we know that at Bank A, if you basically withdraw 1,500, right, you'll get charged that 7 Rand, right, because you've withdrawn 1,000 Rand, plus, right, there's that extra 500 Rand that has basically also been withdrawn, right? So it means that our part thereof of that 1,000, that means that you will still pay another 7 Rand. Okay, so in total, because you've withdrawn 1,500, you're gonna pay 14 Rand. Okay, so just a quick way that you can just also apply this when you're looking at maybe just using calculations, right? You're just gonna take, obviously we know, we're gonna take that 1,500 Rand, yeah? And then you divide it by 1,000, okay? When you divide it by 1,000, because you want to basically determine how many 1,000 Rands, right, you are going to be charged for, right? So if you take 1,500 divided by 1,000 Rand, right, you'll get that you get 1.5 1,000s, okay? Okay, or let me just do it like this. If you just withdrew 1,000 Rand, you just take that 1,000 Rand and you divide by that 1,000 Rand, you'll find that you just have 1,000 Rand. And from that 1,000 Rand, you just multiply it by your 7 to get how much you will pay. So same thing here. If you basically withdraw 1,500, you will just divide it by 1,000 Rand to get how many 1,000 Rands do we have in that 1.5. And already we know that we just have 1.5 1,000 Rands. I hope this is not confusing anyone, right? And then from there, you would usually just multiply it by the 7, right, to get how much you will get charged, right, for basically withdrawing 1,500. But then, because there's that part thereof, it means that now that 1.5, you can't just multiply it by 7, right? You need to first round it up, right? You need to round it up, because they're saying you get charged 7 Rand for every 1,000 or part thereof, right? So that means that that 1.5, you need to round it up. And when we round it up, it is equal to 2, right? So when you basically withdraw 1,005, you will still be charged the same amount that you would be charged if you withdrew 2,000 Rand. Okay, so you will just take that 2 and you will multiply it by 7 to get your 14 Rand. Okay, so that is basically what they mean when they say part thereof, right? For every part of 1,000 that is additional or that you basically withdraw, right, you still get charged that 7,000. Even if you withdrew 1.2, you will still round it up and it will be 2 times 14. Or even if you withdrew 1.3, right, you will still round up that 1.3 and it will still be 2 times the 7, okay? Right? So in this case, it would have just been better for you or cheaper to just withdraw the 2,000 instead of like 1,005 or 1,002 or 1,003. Okay, so that is basically what they mean when they talk about a part thereof. Let me just give another example so that I can just be happy that I've explained it well, right? Same thing. If you basically decide that you're going to withdraw 3,700, okay, to determine how much you'll pay towards Bank A, what you'll do is you'll take that 3,700 and you will divide it by 1,000 to determine how many 1,000s do we have in that 3,000, right? So we're going to divide it by 1,000, right? And if you divide it by 1,000, you'll find that you've got 3.7 1,000s, right? In that 3,700, okay? Cool. And then from here, we know that because of that part thereof statement, we need to round this up before we can basically multiply it by the bank fee. So if you round this up, it will just be your 4 multiplied by your 7. And in this case, is equal to your 28. So you'll pay basically 28 Rand for withdrawing 3,700 at Bank A, right? So this part here is very important. When they talk about a part thereof, then you need to know that whatever amount that is more than 1,000 that you've basically withdrawn, okay, you'll basically be charged like it was an additional 1,000. Okay, I hope it makes sense. Okay, so let's go back to the question. So withdrawal at another bank's ATM, it'll charge you 10 Rand plus 2 Rand per 100 Rand or part thereof. What does this mean? Withdrawal at another bank's ATM. Let's say, for example, right, you are banking with FNB and you decide now to use your FNB card to go withdraw at a Standard Bank, right? So that is the amount that they will charge you, right? They will charge you 10 Rand plus 2 Rand per 100 Rand or part thereof. For Bank B, let's say, for example, you bank at Absa, okay? And you decide to go withdraw your money at Nedbank, okay? This is how much they are going to charge you, 12 Rand per 1,000 or part thereof. So that is basically what that section means. Cash deposit at a branch. So if you deposit an amount at, let's say, for example, FNB or Nedbank, this is how they're going to charge you. If you decide to make a cash deposit inside the branch, let's say, for example, you want to deposit cash inside your FNB or inside your Nedbank, right? That is how much they're going to charge you. Cash deposit at own ATM. So they mean that if you basically make a cash deposit at let's say Bank A's ATM, this is how much you'll get charged. At Bank B's ATM, this is how much you'll get charged. Cash withdrawal at a till point. So if you withdraw money from a till point, like your Pick and Pay shop, right? That is how much you'll get paid at Bank A, and that is how much you'll get paid at Bank B. So that is why sometimes, most times it is just mostly advisable to withdraw at a till point because it's just cheaper. Okay, my mom personally just loves withdrawing at a till point because it's cheaper. Okay, so let's just continue. Let's look at the questions. Identify the place where you will pay the cheapest for withdrawals. So this question doesn't say identify the bank where you will pay the cheapest for withdrawals, but it says the place, right? Meaning, do you pay the cheapest for withdrawals at an ATM or at a till point? Okay, so from here we can see that the cheapest place that you will pay for a withdrawal is at a till point, okay? Because we see that at the till point, look at this, at Bank A, just for you to withdraw, okay, it's 2 Rand. And in Bank B, just for you to withdraw, it is 1 Rand and 20 cents, okay? So we can see that the cheapest place that we can basically go for a withdrawal is at the till point, okay? So let's write that down. Number 2, calculate the fee to be paid if 3,000 is withdrawn, right? So in this case, you're withdrawing 3,800 from Bank B's own ATM. So we need to go to Bank B, right? So Bank B. So if you withdraw at own ATM, because that's what they said, right? And we are focusing on your Bank B. So we need to basically calculate how much you'll pay. So we are told that it's 8 Rand per 1,000 or part thereof. So like I mentioned when I started the video tutorial, the first thing that we need to do is we take that 3,800 and you divide it by 1,000 to get how many 1,000 rands do we have in 3,800. Okay, and then you'll find that you've got 3.8 1,000 rands. Okay, and then from there we know that because of that part thereof, we need to round it up now, right? So when you round it up, right, it becomes your 4, right? You'll be charged as if you basically took out 4 1,000 rands, okay? So you'll just take that 4 and you multiply it by, okay, 8 Rand per 1,000 or part thereof. So you're going to multiply it by 8 Rand. So 4 multiplied by 8, you'll get 32 Rand, okay? So the fee that you'll pay if you basically withdraw 3,800 from Bank B, right? Bank B's own ATM will be 32 Rand. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Calculate the fee to be paid if 4,000 is withdrawn from another ATM and the bank account is at Bank A. So we are told that the bank account is at Bank A. So we're going to be focusing on Bank A. And then we are told that we are withdrawing 4,000 Rand from another ATM. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so we're told that it's a withdrawal at another bank's ATM. And then we are told that it's Bank A, right? So we're going to be focusing on this section here. Okay, right? So that tells us, right, the bank fees is 10 Rand plus 2 rand per 100 rand or part thereof. And then we are told that in this case, right, you've basically withdrawn, right, 4,000. Okay. In this case, we know that in this bank, if you basically withdraw from another bank, the first thing that you'll be charged is the 10 rand. Okay. Irregardless of how much it is that you are basically going to be withdrawing, you're going to be charged the 10 rand plus 2 rand per 100 rand or part thereof that you withdraw. So how do we get then how much you'll be charged for the amount that you have basically withdrawn? In this case, because we've withdrawn 4,000 rand, right, you will take that 4,000 rand. In this case, we will take that 4,000 rand and we're going to divide it by how much? By 100 and not 1,000, because we want to determine how many 100 rands do we have in 4,000. And once we are able to find how many 100 rands we have in 4,000, then we will be able to multiply the amount of 100 rands that we have in 4,000 by 2 to get how much we'll get paid for that, plus adding the 10 rand. Okay, so let's just do that. So you're going to take that 4,000 rand and you're going to divide it by 100. Why are we doing this? Because we just want to find out how many 100 rands do we have in 4,000. So in this case, we know that we've got 100 rands in 4,000, right? And then from there, that makes it easy for us to multiply by what you want, which is the fee that you'll pay for withdrawing 4,000 rand, right? And then if you take the 40 multiplied by 2, you will get your 80 rand, right? So for just withdrawing 4,000 rand, you will pay 80 rand. However, we are not done. We still need to add that 10 rand because you get charged 10 rand for just withdrawing. So we just need to now take that 80 rand and you need to add it with 10 to find that you'll pay 90 rand. Okay, so the total fee to be paid for withdrawing 4,000 from another ATM is 90 rand. Okay, let's go on to the last question. If 9,500 needs to be deposited, calculate the difference in fees between Bank A and Bank B if it needs to be done at a branch. Okay, so we are told that 9,500 needs to be deposited. Okay, and that 9,500, we want to basically first find out what are going to be our banking or our deposit fees if we basically go to Bank A, what will be the deposit fees if we go to Bank B, and if this is done at a branch. Okay, so I'm going to first do the calculations for Bank A, do the calculations for Bank B, and then from there, I'm going to find the difference in the fees. So this is Bank A and this is Bank B, right? So we are going to be looking at deposits that are made at a branch, okay? Cash deposit at a branch. So this is basically going to be the row that we are going to focus on, okay? That if you basically make a cash deposit at Bank A, you're going to pay 30 rand plus 2 rand per 100 rand or part thereof. And then for Bank B, if you make a cash deposit at a bank, you will basically pay 80 rand plus 2 rand 50 per 100 rand or part thereof. So let's get started, right? We are told that 9,500 is deposited at a branch, okay? So how do we basically determine how much we are going to pay? Like I mentioned, the first thing that we need to do is we basically need to determine how many 100 rands do we have in 9,500, right? And for us to basically determine how many 100 rands we have in 9,500, we're basically going to take 9,500 and we're going to divide it by 100, right? So in this case, we're not dividing by 1,000 because we are told that you pay 2 rand per 100 rand or part thereof that has been deposited, right? So we need to divide by 100 rand to find how many 100 rands we have in 9,500, and then from there we will be able to determine the amount that we need to multiply by 2 rand. Okay, so if you take 9,500 and you divide by 100, you'll find that you have 9,500 rands, right, in 9,500, right? And then now we are good to go. We can basically now use this formula to calculate the fees that you'll basically pay for your Bank A. Okay, so the first thing that we do according to this formula is you are basically going to take, right? So the total fees, right, is equal to the 30 Rand, right? Plus, right, you're going to take that 2 Rand and you're going to multiply it by 95. And then here, guys, we don't really have to round up anything because you don't get like a 95.7 or 95.4, right? So we're just going to use that value as it is, right? And then we are basically going to substitute these values into our calculator to get the total fees. So if you say 30 Rand plus 2 times 95, you'll find that for Bank A, the total fees amount to 220 Rand, right? And then let us calculate the bank fees for the total fees for Bank B, right? Same thing. We want to first determine how many 100 Rands do we have in 9,000, in 9,500. So you're going to take that 9,500 that is deposited and you're going to divide it by 100. When you divide it by 100, you still get that 95 Rand, right? So in this case, right, we go back to the formula and we basically now substitute to get the total fees that you'll pay, right? So the total fees for your Bank B is equal to that 80 Rand, right? So that 80 Rand, you pay it irregardless of how much you are depositing. So it's just like a standard fee that you pay for just making a deposit at that bank's branch, okay? So it's 80 Rand plus, right, the 2 Rand 50 multiplied by 95. Okay, so if you punch that into your calculator, you will get that the total fees for Bank B is 317.50 cents, right? But then that is not it. What do we still need to do? We need to calculate the difference in fees between Bank A and Bank B. So we need to find the difference in the fees. So in this case, because we see that the fee for your Bank B is the bigger value, that's the value that we're going to start off with. So it's going to be is equal to the 317.50 cents minus your 220, right? So if you punch that into your calculator, you'll find that the difference in fees is 97 Rand and 50 cents, right? So if you're basically banking with your Bank B and you make a deposit at a branch, you will pay 97 Rand and 50 cents more than you would pay in Bank A, right? So that is basically it for today's video tutorial. The most important part or the take from this video tutorial is understanding what that part thereof means, okay? And it basically means that if you get like a decimal value, then you basically need to round that value up. And from that, you multiply it by whatever amount you get charged per 1,000 Rand that's withdrawn or per 100 Rand that is withdrawn or deposited, okay? So that is the most important part. In the last question, right, we didn't have to round anything off because we didn't have like a 95.6, 95.2, right? It was just a whole number. So from there, you just take that number as it is and you multiply it with the fee that they charge per 100 Rand that is withdrawn to help you basically get your answer. Okay, so I hope that this video tutorial was informative. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on my next video tutorial. That is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.